Welcome to the Gram Balance, a bi-weekly podcast hosted by two working grandmas navigating the beautiful chaos of work and family. Hi, Angela. I have been dying to see you and talk to you and catch up.
Well, it's been a whirlwind for the last 5 days.
Big news. Let's hear about that little baby girl.
Little baby girl arrived. She came a week early and she was breech and large, so they decided to do a C-section. She ended up being a week early. She was 9 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a big girl.
Yeah, and she's tall. So it'll be interesting how tall she ends up being in her adult life, but very exciting. Both mama and baby are very healthy. So we're just excited as you can imagine.
Oh, I can imagine and can't imagine, but please give them my congratulations because that's very exciting.
Will do.
So why don't you tell us, because I know I'm going to be facing this exact same scenario because I know my daughter and her husband are looking to grow their family as well in the future. What kind of things can you help to prepare the sibling, whether it be a toddler or elementary school age kid? What did you find when you were looking? I know you, researcher.
I did. I always research everything.
I know. That's why I said researcher, girl.
And it's funny you say that. So I ended up helping out. So she had to have her C-section on a Thursday. I spent the night Wednesday night so that I could be with my grandson because they were headed off to the hospital before he even woke up. And I brought my handy book that I read when he was born. And I started reading it all over again because that is me. I like to study.
What kind of book? I don't know that I've ever heard about this book.
It's the first 36 months or the first 3 years of life. And it talks about what to expect when they're a newborn. It's kind of like what to expect when they're expecting.
Right.
But it's from the Mayo
modern
Clinic.
Version? Okay.
Yeah, it's the Mayo Clinic. And there was a chapter in there on introducing, the sibling to the new baby. And they mentioned quite a few things. And I also looked online and did some research because they did say that they do feel threatened. They don't know what they're feeling, but there's this change. And
right.
So they have a hard time adapting. They separate it out based on the ages. So ages 1 to 2, so toddlers. My grandson is 20 months. Typical reactions are confusion, clinginess, regression. I can tell you, my grandson was so clingy. Well, about a week before when all this was happening, I think he sensed something was
imminent.
Yes. He wanted to be held by my daughter all the time.
Oh.
He wanted to be held by me all the time. And when I took him to see his brand new sister, when we got there, he didn't want to have anything to do with my daughter. It was really sad.
Oh.
He was confused, right? So that's the confusion part. And then when we got home, after we left, he would not let me put him down for 2 hours. I had to cook with him in my arms. He was just so upset. If I went around the corner, he would be scared. He was confused and he was so clingy. So it's true. That's what happened. And then even now, now that the baby's home, he wanted to be held by his dad the whole time. And when his dad tried to hold the baby, he would say, "Grandma, hold baby. Grandma, hold baby." Like, give the baby to her so I can be with you. So
it's good that he can express himself, though.
Yeah, he is saying several words. So that is very helpful rather than just crying and you're trying to console him. So what they say for that age is simple explanations, baby-themed books. Although my daughter did have a book that she brought to the hospital and wanted to read the book to my grandson, and he honestly was not interested. So she tried that, and I don't know if it was much of a success.
No, but that might be a good tip to do it ahead of time.
Yeah, I think so. She did it more of, here's a gift from the baby, and here's a new book for you. And so that didn't work. But the other piece of advice was preserve toddler routines. And I think that's probably, and speaking with my daughter just recently, that's the best support that I've been giving because I've been there. He knows me. He knows his nanny. And we've been there even when they came home. We stuck with his routine. His nanny has come the same days. They only have her for another week, but it has helped him. Like, he's got his time with his nanny. I came the other day to give them a break, and I took him to the safari because we always do our little excursions. So I went to the safari park with him and then come home. He naps and then he has them in the afternoon. But he's keeping his routine.
Yeah, I think that is critical because toddlers are such creatures of routine anyway. And if you even throw that routine off a little bit, they're turned into little gremlins.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that makes all kinds of sense. The other things I've seen, and I'm not sure if you guys did it, and I have a granddaughter, so I don't know if that's different because she's super into baby dolls, but like practicing with the baby doll, pushing the baby doll in the stroller, putting the baby doll in the little car carrier thing, putting a bottle to the baby like that, like the fake baby.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So that
I could see how that would work, especially for little girls.
Right.
You know, you have a grandson, you don't really have that stuff sitting around. So in some cases.
Yeah. Or you could get it.
Or you can get it ahead of time.
Yeah. Because she's much like her mother, loves her baby doll. So it goes everywhere with her.
Yeah. How old were your kids apart?
They were right over 2 years.
Okay. So ages 2 to 4. So preschoolers, they say the typical reactions are jealousy, attention seeking, tantrums, and baby like behavior. So involve them in baby prep and care. So bring me the diaper, or do you want to try to, feed the baby with me? Things like that. Of course, reassure love and importance, and then keep their expectations age appropriate. It's so funny because when my daughter and my son were 4 years apart, so even though my daughter was older, she absolutely would be supportive, helping as much as she could. She was the little mommy, little mommy to my son. But I could not take a picture of my son without her putting her head in it. Like, and we have all these videos we would take of like the first year.
Right.
Oh, hi, mommy. She'd like stick her head in the video and stuff. And we laugh now that we watch them, but it's so obvious that she is attention seeking.
No, it's so funny because it brings me back to a video we had doing little Halloween costumes. And my daughter was in some princess costume and little Buzz Lightyear was there doing a little song. So I got the video camera out back in the day before we had phones that videoed. So I was recording him. Immediately, she comes running in from I don't know where, pushes him out of the way so she could be front and center in the movie.
Yep. There you go. So it's that, the 2 to 4 year olds, it's that attention seeking, and they don't know how to express jealousy, but that's kind of it.
Right.
Right.
Like, don't forget, I'm the number one.
That's right. So anyway, grandparents, you can give the child a big sibling gift. So I did that. I took my grandson to go buy a gift for the baby from him.
Oh, fun. That's cute.
And I thought, okay, if we do that, I found a stuffed animal. It was an elephant, and then it had a baby elephant, which was holding in its arms. It separated. Like it was two different stuffed animals, but one could hold the other in its arms.
Oh, cute.
And I said, oh, that's cute. You can have you're the big elephant, and then this is for the baby. Well, then he wanted another stuffed animal just for him. So I did.
So of course.
I gave him.
That's no shocker.
So I gave him his own stuffed animal, and he loves it, and he sleeps with it. So he got that special big sibling gift. And then, of course, spend the one-on-one time, whether it's during the hospital visits or postpartum days. So even though my son-in-law and my daughter are both on leave right now, they still ask me to come so that I can even watch the little baby for a couple hours while they can do something with the older sibling.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, well, there's a lot we can do as grandparents to support because I'm sure we can all think back to the years where it just felt like pure chaos with a baby and a toddler or a little older.
Yeah, and then they have ages 5 to 8. So that's when their curiosity is mixed with resentment and they fear that they're going to lose their parental attention. So you really have to explain what to expect honestly. Like it's going to feel like we're taking more time with the baby, but it doesn't mean we don't love you. You have a unique role in the family. Of course, continue to offer them meaningful ways to help, but give them their own time and invite them to do their own special activities.
Right. And that's the age where you can reason with them and explain things a little more too, where they understand it and get it.
Yeah. And then lastly, ages 9 to 12, it's the making time to have those open conversations. Don't rely on them for childcare. Was a big piece of advice.
I know. That just rubs me the wrong way in general anyway. Like, I know everyone has their own situation, but you can't put that responsibility on a kid.
I know, because then they feel like, well, what am I?
Right.
Now?
I'm
Am I not a
I'm the
member?
hired help.
Right. I'm the hired help. I'm not a member of this family. So I know I have a family member who had a very large space between her first and their second born. And the first took it really hard, really hard.
Oh,
And it wasn't anything that the parents were doing, but she got so upset, she tried to run away, and it was just something that she didn't feel like she was getting attention. I mean, if you're an only child for that many years and
right.
then all of a sudden,
It's a big
there's a second.
change.
So just really trying hard to engage them just as much, if not more, than you did before.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, so those are some of the things we learned, or that I
Yeah, I like.
studied because I was in the middle of it. And it is, day by day it's getting better. But even my daughter said that because now she had a cesarean, so
The
she
recovery.
can't pick up her baby anymore, the
Right.
toddler. So my grandson's getting kind of frustrated with her. So now it's my son-in-law that he wants to be with all the time. And he even says, when my son-in-law's holding the baby, "Mama, hold baby." Because I want to be with Dad because I know he can pick me up.
Smart kid.
I know, right?
That's smart. I do remember when I was reading books about when our first grandchild was being born, one of the suggestions they had was you can show the baby pictures of them so they kind of remind them what a baby looks like if they haven't been around babies recently.
Oh my gosh. Can I tell you, my granddaughter looks just like my grandson?
Oh, that's so funny.
They have pictures side by side. Apparently, my son-in-law's sister got it wrong because my son put them side by side.
And she didn't know which was
she
which?
didn't know which one was which. She got it wrong.
Oh, that's
how much
funny.
they look alike.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, I just got back from visiting my granddaughter who's now 16 months, and already even I think all kids are like this, but she loves to look at pictures of herself.
Yeah.
As baby, doing anything.
Oh, for sure. That we were talking about that. They have that little photo album.
Oh, yes. And she does love that.
My grandson loves it too.
Yeah, but even like me showing her like little videos of her on my phone, fascinating entertainment.
Yeah. So anyway, I think the way I'm helping, and it seems to be working, is, being there to be that extra set of hands and laps and hugs for the first grandchild.
Yeah, that makes all the sense. And anyone that can help out their kids in a grandparenting role, it's such a blessing.
It really is. So more to come on that. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, keep me posted.
Because so good. He held his sister for the first time, assisted, of course, and was excited. So 6 days later, that's where we are.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So how old is she now?
6 days old.
Oh, so how long was she in the hospital?
2.5 days.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So my daughter wanted to come home early. They can stay up to 5 days.
Right.
She wanted to come home, and mainly it was because she wanted to be with my grandson because she was so
she missed
him
that
he was so upset.
No, I'm sure that's hard on mom.
And because they had the help with me there, they were able to do it. If it was just the two of them, they wouldn't have been able to handle it because she needs so much support. She can't get up well. If my son-in-law was just focused on my grandson and the way he was acting, it would be very difficult.
Well, and I remember my daughter did have a C-section for her first. She had to. Day 3 was probably the hardest.
That's what they say. My
as
daughter
far as
did tell me that.
Moving around and so forth.
Yeah.
So good for her on getting home, and hopefully her healing's going well.
Yeah, and having a grandma who could support, her while she's doing that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm excited. Hopefully I'm in the same boat very soon.
I wish you well in that category.
Yes. Well, on another completely different note, did you see that California passed the new assembly bill for the Phone-Free School Act?
I did see it. I know we were talking about it when it was kind of circling, but it's going to take a couple years, right? Before it can really go into effect, because they have to figure out how the heck they're going to do this.
Right. Well, it goes into effect. Everything did pass, and it goes into effect July 1 of 2026. It's called the Phone-Free School Act, Assembly Bill 3216, and it says excessive smartphone use among youth is linked to increased anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. So they are stating that school districts will restrict the use of smartphones on school campuses. They are requiring every school district, charter school, and county of education to adopt a policy limiting or prohibiting the use of smartphones by July 1st, 2026. There is a clause that the parents and or educators must allow students to use their phone in case of an emergency or perceived threat. So there is a little bit of leeway, but I don't know how that works.
How in the world are they going to monitor this? We were talking about this at a family event the other day.
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is maybe the rule will be no hands on the cell phone. They must be in a backpack. And if there is a perceived threat or danger, then you can at that point grab your backpack and get your phone. But that kind of defeats the whole purpose of not having them in passing periods and throughout the school day too.
What? Say that again?
They were trying. Well, I'm not sure if this is part of their motivation, but when I talked to my daughter who is in education about it, some of the problems are like in passing periods and lunch where things start going around amongst the groups and there's drama and problems and social media.
We reported on that.
Right.
In a prior episode, and how they were fighting in the girls' bathroom and they were getting excited. They were taking video of it.
Right, exactly. So I would think the bill would want to have the phones not available to the kids from the time they get to school till the time they leave school. Maybe you put it in a lock box on the teacher's desk, and if there's danger, the box gets unlocked and everyone, you think I'm being ridiculous.
It's just going to be impossible. Well, I think that's why it's going to take a whole year to figure this out.
Yeah. Well,
and I bet there's going to be, like we said before, parents that say, nope, I want to know where my kid is. I want to track them, all of that. I have a feeling it's going to be very difficult to enforce.
I sure hope it's enforceable, because it just seems like if kids can just go back to being worried about school and not having to worry about all the other drama surrounded with social media and cell phones while at school, hopefully it can be a safe space again. Maybe
I don't think they're going to be able to solve the in-between period thing.
Yeah, well, that's something we'll have to watch.
Although I need to follow up on that article. Remember, I was telling you I saw it, that article about how things have gotten better since they restricted phones.
Right.
So I need to find out what they've done.
Yeah, we're going to have to follow this closely, too, because I do think they're making the right moves. We'll just have to see how logistically it all works out. And I feel like for those of you not in California, this will be something that'll start garnering to attention nationwide and through other countries as well.
I think that example we used in that prior episode was Texas.
I feel like I feel like it was another state.
Yeah, I think it's already coming in different areas.
Yeah, we'll have to keep eyes on that, because the intentions are good and hopefully they're able to execute it in a positive manner.
Agreed.
So some of the things I noticed while I was in Texas visiting were some of the cool things that I had not been exposed to before, that I'm wondering if you've seen and if you think are as cool as I think they are.
Okay.
So have you seen the car seats that spin towards you? So you put the kid in facing you and then you spin it, whether rear facing or front facing, whatever they happen to be. It's
called. No, this is specific to Texas?
No. It's like specific to car seats.
Oh, you were saying.
Well, no, because I was in Texas and saw the new car seat.
Oh, no. But let me ask a question.
Yes.
They recommend that the children face
rear
facing. So why would we do this?
Because the kid is facing you when you're putting it in the car seat. It's much easier to have the kid facing you. Put the kid in the car seat so they're at a 45-degree not facing rear.
Mm-hmm.
And then you push the button and face them rear.
Okay.
It's just,
they can't go the other way. Like you can't sit them front facing.
Well, you could on this when they're ready to be front sitting. The car seat is
interesting.
It's from like 11 or 12 pounds to like 60 pounds, because you can go rear facing them up until they're very large now.
Do you know who makes the seats?
The one I saw was Chico, but I know Evenflo makes one as well. I looked into it because they're a little pricey. I was hoping to maybe find one on Marketplace for when they come to visit here, but just the ease of getting the child in and out was amazing.
So absolutely. And my daughter now has 2 car seats in the back.
She's a 2-car seat mama.
She's a 2-car seat mama. One is in the center, one is on the side. So they literally have to lean so far over for that center one.
Oh, I'm telling you, this car seat was...
That would be a good idea.
I had never heard of it. This is why I was so amazed by it, because when I put her in, I was like, oh, don't have to bend over with my back. You don't have to... It just was a very great invention, whoever invented it.
Well, and the reason why they put it in the center is
so someone could sit next to her.
them.
Yeah, no, I got
You're
it.
not like climbing over in to be in the center between the two car seats.
Yeah, so. I figured that out. But yeah this was... I think it's called a rotating seat.
Interesting. Okay. And that is a actually pretty good fabulous find.
I know. Unfortunately, they're pricey, but it's something for everyone to know.
I'm going to still give you that fabulous find.
Thank you. We like that fabulous find. This is a pricier one. We try to keep them a little more affordable, but this was definitely something I had not heard of or seen and was very excited to tell you about it. Rush home and tell you.
Okay. You sold me on that one, Sharon.
Yeah, you need to check it out for sure. The other thing that we got from my granddaughter, and she hadn't really used up until this point, was one of those kitchen helpers, like the little ladder that you put in the kitchen where they can help be involved in meal prepping or different things going on. Well, it isn't that great of a thing when they're younger, but at this age, like 16 months, it's fabulous.
Yeah, so my grandson has that, and you're right. It's really cool because while you're cooking, they can sit and play with their puzzles or do whatever. I don't know if it's a boy thing or an age thing.
Climbing?
He climbs to the tippy top and he leans back. And many times we've been like, no, get down.
So I did see the climbing because also she's a little monkey too and doesn't really stay put. But fortunately for us, she's a little littler, so it's a little harder for her to get her foot high enough to climb. She was trying to climb on the counter. But it is an easy way to keep them involved while you have to take the time to meal prep or put things together.
You still have to be really close.
You have to be really close and you have to be very vigilant, but it does keep them occupied so you can get things done while they are right next to you.
That's true. And you can engage with them while you're cooking, give them little things to do right there.
Right.
I took your advice, when we had the episode about preparing for kids in preschool. I think it was our last one.
Right, yes.
About the Play-Doh and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. While I'm making his breakfast or lunch, I put little Play-Dohs right in front of him while he's standing in the tower, and it keeps him occupied.
Oh, good idea. I'm going to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
I kept saying when I was down there, we need to go get some clay or some Play-Doh, but we just didn't have the opportunity.
Yeah. No, he liked it. He was confused at first, but then he started playing with it.
Oh,
so
fun.
I kept him occupied.
Oh, good.
So was there anything else that in Texas that you saw that may be different than, maybe some regional differences? I think I mentioned on a much earlier episode how when I was in Tennessee, I noticed that none of the kids in restaurants were on phones. So did you notice anything regionally?
The one thing I did notice is we went to a golf simulator bar grill type of establishment, and they were just very welcoming to families. There was kids of all ages. There was people from young kids to grandparents' ages there, all interacting. And I thought that was nice. And people were talking, doing the golf simulator, eating, drinking, and I did not see a phone. And I even got my phone out to record just to make a little reel about the day. And I felt a little awkward grabbing my phone because there was just no other phones out, which is great. I love it. But I noticed that difference. Maybe we just haven't been to that kind of place here in San Diego, but I do feel like almost anywhere you go in San Diego, you see a lot of phones.
That's true. That's almost following like the Japanese culture, because my son went to Japan and you're not supposed to have your phones out like on a subway or anything.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it is interesting.
I
love it, though.
No,
like,
same.
Talk to people.
I know. That's what actually my point was. It was just so nice seeing, like, there's in little bays. So our bay had us, and we would take turns playing. And in the one next to us, it was a set of grandparents, a couple sets of people in their 30s and 40s, and then a 4-year-old and maybe an 8-year-old. And then all bays had different ages. It was just nice to see something where all different ages could be there. Nobody was like looking like, what are these kids doing here? Type of thing.
We should probably serve as better examples for that and just be comfortable in silence, just be comfortable observing things or just sitting there quietly. Because I find myself in places if I'm just standing there, I pull out my phone because I'm more comfortable. But I don't maybe just sit there and observe like what people are doing.
Exactly.
Or maybe talk to somebody next to you on a subway or at the trolley.
I also, now that we're talking about this, I think it's a great business opportunity for someone in the San Diego area to have more family-friendly establishments to go out, because you do go other places in the country and there's restaurants with little play areas on the side, and it's just, there are a couple in San Diego, but they're few and far between. Where I feel like in other parts of the country, there's all different kind of places you can go that will accommodate different ages of kids.
I remember growing up, and you're right, they've kind of gotten rid of them all. Remember Fuddruckers?
Yes.
You'd go, you'd have meals, your kids would go play, or a lot of pizza joints.
Right, exactly. And you could stay at the table and chat with the adults, and the kids could run around, and you didn't have to really worry about them.
Yeah, they'd be playing pool over here and doing,
games.
Yes.
Yeah, I've just noticed even in Colorado, you'll see like outdoor games where kids can run around and play cornhole or play ball, and there's places where they can run while the parents enjoy a meal, and you just don't see that much in San Diego. I don't know why.
Maybe we have to seek them out, and on another episode, we'll tell all of our San Diego friends where to go.
If there is anywhere.
Yeah. I'll do my research.
Please do.
All right. Well, it was nice catching up.
And congratulations on the little baby girl. I'm so excited she's here and everyone's doing well.
Yep. Happy, healthy, happy grandma, too.
Yay.
So we will connect next time. And I think, are we almost done with our daughter-in-law survey that we were talking about doing?
Yes, I pretty much have all the results in, so we're going to go over that, compile everything, and do the differences between daughters and daughter-in-laws.
From a grandma's perspective.
Right, from a grandma's perspective in dealing with grandkids and the parents.
Awesome. All right, well, we're looking forward to it. Thanks, everyone, for joining.
Have a great day. Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe to the podcast so we can continue to grow our community. And follow us on Instagram at Working Grandmas Podcast, on Facebook at The Grand Balance, a Working Grandmas Podcast, and join our LinkedIn group, Working Grandmas. You can also email us at info@workinggrandmas.com or message us through any of our social media platforms.